Hello, nerds and geeks. Welcome to the Nerd Zone. I'm Scruffy, and this is Scruffy Tales. And in this video, we will explore who is potentially the Sith Master in the Star Wars show, The Acolyte. And we will also take a quick look at what this show is actually about. And to find out what this show is about, we will kick things off with a quick quote from Daphne Keane, who plays the Saul's Padawan, and she reveals, like I said, the plot of the Acolyte. And this is an interview with Tech Radar back in November of 2022. And what Daphne Keane says is, "I can tease that it's a prequel. No, I mean, as you know, it's set 100 years before the prequel movies, and it's kind of an explanation of how the Sith infiltrated the Jedi. It's a Sith-led story which has never been done before." So, the show is about how the Sith infiltrates the Jedi, and it's a Sith-led story, right? Important to remember. Because obviously, when we had the amazing reveal that Smiler Ren was in fact Kimir, who did this weird Yoda thing where he acted like a doofus while he was in fact a force-wielding master. Um well, as we found out that Kimir was Smiler Ren, we have Yord, who recognizes Kimir and, recognizes him from the past. Uh, Smiler Ren also tells Saul that, uh, he kind of hints that they have met before, and Saul recognizes something about Smiler Ren, something about Kimir, and Yord definitely recognizes Kimir. So I'm thinking this is proof that Kimir in the past used to be a Padawan, right? He was part of the Jedi Order. And what does Kimir tell Saul? Well, he says that he just wants to be able to use his powers, right? And the Jedi would probably label him as a Sith and what have you. So, I mean, I'm thinking he was a Padawan. He was powerful. He appears to be very powerful in the show. And he fell to the dark side, or the Jedi Order felt that, you know what, this guy will eventually become very dangerous. So he wasn't allowed to become a Jedi, or he simply left because he felt he was harassed and I guess a bit persecuted even by the Jedi, because the show kind of hints that they want to make it a thing that the Jedi are a bit oppressive towards other Force users. You had the witches that clearly said that people who don't like the dark side, or people who don't like the witches tapping into that side of the Force that they consider to be the dark side. Those people, the Jedi, they kind of oppress and harass other Force wielders that, use the dark side. And we get that with Kimirian as well. He's like, no, I just want to use my powers. I want to be all I can be, but I'm being, hounded by the Jedi. Uh, and forced into exile by the Jedi, essentially, just because he has a different point of view. So it's a twist of they're twisting around the narrative here a bit with the forces of good, the Jedi, being as we expect oppressive against evildoers, and here we have the evildoers going, dude, we are actually being hunted just for trying to be what we naturally are, very powerful individuals. So it's a twisted a whole oppressive society thing where the Jedi, who are the good guys, are actually actively abusing their powers essentially by hunting down potential dark side users. And he appears to have this history with the Jedi Order, and I think he was a Padawan, was too powerful, or and someone within the Jedi Order has then taken him under his wing and trained him to be a dark side user. And I mean, they say in the show he's been trained by a Force user. He's been trained by a Jedi. So someone within the Order has trained him, and but led him astray and encouraged him to get in touch with the dark side to become as powerful as possible. So if this theory is true, who is then the enemy within? Who is it that is the evil Sith Lord that is currently hiding within the Jedi Order? Well, I think we have two candidates. Our first suspect would be perhaps the most obvious one, Jedi Master Venestra Rose, an important character who's been with us from the start. We've come to know her. She interacts with Saul, one of the main characters, and stuff like that. And she is in charge of the investigation. She has a position of power. And, you know, she's holding the strings a bit in what the Jedi should and should not be doing concerning the investigation into the murders of the Jedi and the two suspects, Osha and May. And, I mean, she wants to hide information from the Council and the Republic. Doesn't want them to be made aware that this is going on. Initially, she guided the guild towards Osha. I mean, if she knew that May was an acolyte of her apprentice, she obviously would want to redirect the Jedi away from May and towards Osha. And she also tried to convince Saul to not go after May initially, right away when they found out that May was alive. She wanted to have a discussion. She wanted the Jedi to talk it through, you know, potentially in order to give May time to move along, give her apprentice, Khmer, Smiler Ren, time to move along and, you know, prepare for the Jedi coming after them. So I think, I mean, she has some other lines in the show that kind of hints that that's showing that she's serving the Jedi. She wants to send Saul on the investigation. They are talking about why did you not tell me May was alive and stuff like that. But all of that could be a ploy, an act just to, you know, appear as if she is in fact a loyal member of the Jedi Order, but she has been doing these smaller things, or rather big things, like trying to hide information from the Council and the Republic as well. So I'm thinking she is a good candidate for being a Sith Lord in hiding within the Jedi Order. And our second most likely candidate for being a Sith Lord is Jedi Master Ki-Adi-Mundi. Again, an important character. We know him from before. We are emotionally invested in him. He's an important voice in the investigation. They rely on his counsel, on his suggestions. He is in a position of power where you want to be as a Sith Lord. He also questions why a master would be hiding his identity from a pupil. He thinks it's absurd. You know, no. Let's not go down that route that may or may not lead us to finding out it's a Sith Lord. No, that's absurd, right? And then, of course, 100 years later, after the events of the Acolyte, he says that the Sith have not been seen in a millennia, despite him being part of this investigation that has guided the Jedi to a Sith Lord. And I mean, the most incriminating detail of them all is that he obviously lied about his date of birth to the Jedi Order so that he could become a member. I mean, they recruit young. So, he obviously lied. Uh, I don't know how that works. Anyway, uh, but yeah, I think he may be a choice for potentially being a Sith Lord because it would be a big shock to everyone watching. And oh boy, will it piss people off if they go down that route. And also, in The Phantom Menace, he does say, oh, the Sith have not been around for millennia. So, that could indicate that he is, in cahoots with the Sith. The thing going against that would be that you only have two Sith Lords, and in the Phantom Menace, that would mean we have Palpatine, Ki-Adi-Mundi, and Darth Maul. So it doesn't really add up. But hey, it's Disney. You never know what they may come up with, right? So I'm thinking this could still be a thing, potentially, because, it's Disney. And also, there's something really fishy going on with Ki-Adi-Mundi's date of birth. Someone lied to the Jedi Order. But I mean, it could also be that May is the one that infiltrates the Jedi. She took on she tricked Saul into believing she was Osha. So Saul is now bringing May slash Osha back to the Jedi Order. So is May the Sith that infiltrates the Jedi? Right? So Khmer dies, and the real Sith Lord, whoever that is, that may not be Venestra Rowe at all, appears and says, "Haha, you're now my apprentice, and you will stay within the Jedi Order to sneak around and spy for me and what have you." Uh, that would be really boring, if you ask me. If the Sith Lord is someone we haven't seen yet, and May is the one that is the Sith that actually infiltrates the Jedi. That would be a bit boring. I kind of hope it's Venestra because that would be a fun twist. I feel. I just think it would be kind of boring if we find out that Khmer was the Sith Master, or that if it's someone we haven't seen yet out in the dark. I really want, knowing that the show supposedly is about how the Sith infiltrated the Jedi Order, I want a big character to come out as uh, the bad guy, so we get that big reveal and the big betrayal, right? Because it kind of fits how you want to write these things narratively, right? You have a character you trust that is important, that in the end, it's cliche, admittedly, but still, the character you trust who is in charge of things turns out to be the bad guy. And I think Venestra Rowe fits that character in this show. Yes, she is a High Republic character, new canon, and all of that. But reading up on that, we get a couple of hints that she's not a perfect Jedi by any means. First of all, she has a light whip. Oh, why Disney? God damn it! Son of a light whip? Really? She has modified her lightsaber so that it can be used as a whip. Oh my god. If we see that in the Acolyte, oh, the internet will explode. Anyway, so she has it in her character that she is not dogmatic. She will step outside of the box and think for herself, which could, indicate she is susceptible to outside influence and the dark side. And in the canon, she also struggles to fit in with the Jedi Order. She feels she's not a good role model for other younger apprentices, Padawans, Jedi Knights, and what have you. And she even pulled away from the Jedi to deal with her grief. She lost a Padawan, she lost some friends, a mission went south, and she had to find herself, find out what she wanted with her own life within the Jedi Order and stuff like that. So we have bits and pieces in her character within the canon that indicates that she could potentially turn to the dark side. She's not dogmatic. She steps out of the box. She thinks for herself. And she struggles with emotions, with grief, with anger, with sorrow. And she goes on you know, on a journey to find herself spiritually. And it could be that if this follows her backstory, that during those travels she may have run into a Sith and she may have been turned, and now she is the next Sith Lord with her own apprentice in Khmer and so forth, right? So she may have found Khmer. Khmer may have been her Padawan even in the show. And so we'll see what happens. But I think it would be good storytelling. Cliche as it may be, that she is the bad guy, and Khmer was a Padawan that was thrown out, and she was either his master or she took him on once the Jedi Order realized that there was no hope for him. He was gonna fall to the dark side, so they kicked him out. We'll see what happens. But my prediction: she is the bad guy, because I think it would be kind of cool. And also these two images, it's the same scene, obviously, but take a look. What the hell? Look at this. The background, we got the vegetation. There's a forest in the background. She's looking kind of pissed, and she is not dressed as she's dressed when she's on Coruscant in the Jedi Temple. She is out on a mission. She has left Coruscant. She's out somewhere to deal with something, whatever. Is it May? Is it Khmer? Is she on the planet where the witches were at? Was she responsible for killing all the witches? Who knows? And I mean, she is ready for combat because she has these gauntlets on, the same gauntlets we see Saul, for instance, wearing. So this is Venestra out on a mission in the Acolyte, ready to kick ass. The question is, whose ass is she about to kick? I'm thinking some good guys. Or maybe this is a flashback and we see that she is in fact responsible for killing all the witches. Who knows? But no, I'm thinking this is Venestra revealing to everyone that, I mean, take a look. This is the face of a dark side user, isn't it? We'll see what happens, right? And that's the end of the video. That's all I have for you. I hope you found it interesting. I hope I'll see you in the next one. And what do you think? Who has infiltrated the Jedi? Is it May that is the Sith that is infiltrating? Was it Khmer himself that was the Sith that had infiltrated? Or is it potentially Venestra? Or even Ki-Adi-Mundi, the lying bastard? He didn't tell the truth about his date of birth. Leave a comment. See you around. Bye.